That's just little leaguers being little leaguers right there. Hey, next week's Sunday night baseball matchup should be a good one. Atlanta and St. Louis. Cardinals leading the Central. They finish up that 3-game series at Busch, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, ESPN, Deportes, and Radio.
All right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about YouTube's #1 race hustler and bootlicker, Dr. Rashad Richey. And part of the reason why I'm calling him a bootlicker is because he called Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, a bootlicker in the middle of a debate. And I thought that comment was way out of bounds, right? I thought it was way out of bounds. The way Tatum handled himself during that exchange really should be commended, okay? Because I'm not necessarily sure if I would have kept my cool if he had called me a bootlicker like he did Tatum in the middle of that debate, okay? But with that being said, this guy is a bootlicker. He is licking the worst boot, right? The dirtiest of boots. The boot of TYT, Cenk Uygur, the failing progressive YouTube channel, which I really don't understand because the guy could do this on his own. He doesn't need TYT on a per video basis. His channel is more successful than TYT, but for whatever reason, he decides he wants to lick the boot of Cenk Uygur, okay, and the progressive left, right? So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Everybody doesn't have the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Everybody doesn't have the entrepreneurial spirit. What this guy does have is the race hustling spirit, okay? He got a whole lot of that, right? As this right here, right, is one of the most desperate attempts of making something racist that is not racist at all. These people are trying to find racism in this country, which shows you guys that there is much more demand for racism than there is supply. Now, with that being said, that's not to say there's not plenty of supply of racism. There is. It's just not the racism that fits their narrative, right? It's not the anti-black racism that they claim is so prevalent in this country. Actually, a lot of the racism in this country that is overt, that you can actually see without having to guess or extrapolate too much in regards to is it actually something racist, is actually anti-white racism. It's racism against whites, right? We're seeing a lot more of that overtly, okay? But see, he won't talk about that because, again, that doesn't fit the narrative here, right? So I want to talk about this because, again, this is the worst type of race hustling, using kids to push this narrative, right? This narrative that everything is racist, okay? That this kid was subjected to humiliation from his teammates because they were picking cotton, right? Picking cotton out of his hair, right? This is what they're saying. So let's get into it.
Let's just put the picture up full mass here. I would try to explain as much as I can about this, but still a lot of unanswered questions. A Little League World Series player's head was covered in cotton during a game on Sunday night. So this went out on social media. Obviously, many were outraged considering the black player didn't appear to be laughing about it. Now, the kids around him, they are in fact white, okay? When you look at the full video, you see that clearly. The incident happened in the 8th inning of the Red Sox versus Orioles Little League Classic game in Pennsylvania, when several members of the Davenport, Iowa Little League team, who are white, took stuffing out of giveaway toys and placed it on a black teammate's head. So the Little League World Series, they did submit a quote. Spokesperson said, after speaking with the team, as well as reviewing photos, multiple players on the Midwest region team were taking part in this while enjoying the game. As only one player appeared on the broadcast, Little League International understands that the actions could be perceived as racially insensitive. Okay, we get that statement, all right? I don't know what adult supervision allowed this to happen. Obviously, adults are there. It's a Little League game. They got coaches, they got parents, they have support staff. I played baseball. They allowed this to happen. So that's one failure. Number two, maybe one of the kids thought this would be funny because of what they've learned from their own home. And number three, The reason we are aware of this is because the cameraman or camerawoman decided to focus in on this while it was happening at the end of the game. So we are made aware of it on live television because they made a conscious decision to say, hey, let's show them picking cotton off of this black child's head.
All right, so let's go ahead and just bust this guy up real quick, okay? This is why you shouldn't roll with stories like this until you do the research, right? If it sounds too good to be true, you might want to wait a little bit. Trust me, I fell victim to this, okay? If a story sounds too good to be true, if it's too easy, you might want to wait, right? Because there's always more to the story. First of all, they weren't picking cotton out of the kid's head. That's not what they were doing. That's not what they were doing. Again, Rashad Richey would know that if he actually did the research, or his team, because he doesn't do the research, right? His team with TYT does the research. But again, no surprises here that for whatever reason, they don't really know that, or they didn't, include that because, again, they're either ignorant, they're either bad at their jobs, or they purposely excluded it. Probably both, right? Probably both. Okay, we've seen this on the regular TYT channel. No surprises here. What they actually were doing was that they were putting the stuffing from the animal in the little kid's head because they wanted the little kid to look like a baseball player that they all like. A baseball player who happens to have white hair. Now, the baseball player that they were trying to emulate was, I believe, another little league player who was on a Hawaii team. And they thought that he was a great player and that his hairstyle was very cool. In fact, it wasn't just the black player who had cotton put into his hair or put on his head. There was also a white player that had cotton put on his head as well, too. I wonder why Rashad Richey didn't mention that. Why is he not bringing that up? Also, Rashad Richey, at the beginning of this video, claimed that the black player, the black kid, seems to not be very happy about the cotton being put on his head. And he's not laughing about it. He's not smiling about it. Except there's video of the black player actually laughing and smiling with the cotton on his head. Shockingly racist, right? That's the title of this video from TYT. I mean, Rashad Richey. Shockingly racist. Shocking racism. Caught live. Shocking. Except when you actually look at the facts, you look into the story, you can see that this is clearly not racist. The parent of the black child came out and said, no, this was not racist. This was innocent. It was just kids playing. It was kids being kids. And that is the worst part about all this, guys. These race hustlers will tear apart teams, little league baseball teams that by definition are like what we want for this country, right? That is the American dream. That is what we want. We want kids from all races and colors coming together to be able to play sports, to play with each other, right? To experience brotherhood. What better venue to do that than Little League Baseball or sports? But again, you got race hustlers like Rashad Richey, who claims to be fighting against racism and hatred and division in this country, that are pushing hate and division on little children so that he can get some views on his YouTube channel, right? Again, that's what's happening here. But these guys, again, they're race crusaders. They're on the good side, right? They're not trying to divide this country. Only people on the right are dividing this country with their hate and bigotry. When every time you look, these people are looking for racism where there is no racism. They don't care. Even if they have to use children, they don't care. They don't care about dividing this team up. They don't care about accusing these little kids that are not black of being racist. They don't care about that. They don't care at all. All they care about is themselves. But they want to run around here and act like, well, we're on the right side of history. No, you are the biggest source of hate in this country. You're the biggest source of bigotry and division in this country. You're the biggest source of racism.
So I'm not sure why that decision was made. There has been no response from the camera person who made the decision, but obviously the insensitivities are well noted here. The racial bias staggering.
Staggering racial bias. Bruh, again, this guy is a con artist, okay? I'm telling you, he really is.
Adrian, thoughts on this?
It seemed that the Little League wanted to pretend like this wasn't anything significant and that it was unintentional, but they understand that it could be a bad look. The reality is that this is a black child surrounded by white children trying to put cotton on the child's head. And even if they weren't doing that specifically with the thought of a black child picking cotton, the fact is that they're targeting him in some way that isolates him, putting this white stuff on his hair that's almost also creating this seeming white identity, cloaking him in it. The fact that he is alone targeted, it really...
He alone was targeted. No research whatsoever. Didn't look into any of the videos, any of the pictures. Didn't look into the story whatsoever. Did no research. They already knew what they was going to say. As soon as the video came out, it was racist. This child's being targeted. He wasn't the only child that had cotton put in his head. A white child had cotton put on their head. Is he still being targeted? Busted. Parents said it wasn't racist. There's video out of the kid laughing with the cotton in his head, enjoying it. Everything that Little League has said about it, explaining the incident, is backed up by facts and evidence. These guys don't. Let's just divide and push division on these Little Leaguers because we want some views, right? We want some views. Again, this is sad, man. This is sad. It really is.
It just really says a lot about the environment there. And as you've noted, what these children are exposed to at home, what their belief structure has already been established to be.
And now they're trying to imply that the parents are racist. You hear that? Well, who at home taught these kids that it was okay to put cotton in a black child's head? Now they're trying to throw the parents under the bus. These people are the biggest perpetuators of hatred and division in this country. If this story right here, this video right here doesn't show you that, I don't know what will, bruh. I don't know what will. I'm getting heated just thinking about this, bruh. It's intentional. It's 100% intentional, bruh. I've never seen. It's unbelievable.
But we can't ignore the fact that this is what racism looks like. And this is a product of it.
That's right. We can call it unconscious bias, systemic racism, whatever you want to call it. The impact is the same. All right. On the other side of that, a person, a young kid, now feels the adverse impact of racial bias.
Wow. They should delete that video, bruh. Delete that video, bruh. If I make a mistake like that, I'm deleting the video, right? I'm deleting, or I'm going to come out here and give an apology. Rashad Richey, you owe these parents and these kids an apology. You and your guest and the whole TYT network, because this is slander right here, bruh. This is slander, okay? You implied that the kids were racist, the parents were racist, right? You basically smeared the whole team as racist, okay? With no facts and evidence to back it up whatsoever. With an incomplete understanding of the story. No research, no nothing. And you got a whole team of people. You have a whole team working at this company to do the research. So either your team sucks or you purposely lied and misled your viewers to push a narrative that you knew was false. Yeah, both are pretty bad. Both are pretty bad. Again, I'm telling you, man, this is why I call them race hustlers. It's a hustle. It's a grift. They want nothing more to continue to push hate and division in this country at any cost, even if it means dividing up kids. They don't care. They don't care. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.